Hi everyone, Comic Reviewer here, and this time reviewing on Berserk 1997 anime series review. Now, as you know, Berserk is a popular series of manga, popular manga series that was created by Kentaro Miura, who's been known to take multiple hiatuses on his series Berserk while working on other projects. Now, keep in mind from October the 7th, 1997 to March the 31st, 1998, Berserk had an anime series that lasted for 25 episodes. And the manga, and basically the series is meant to cover the Golden Age arc. Well, the first part, the first episode, is meant to give you a glimpse of how Guts eventually became who he was, and how him and Griffith came to be. And at the same time, it does kind of spoil this for those who haven't read the manga. And pretty much the series is meant to cover how Guts started off at a young age as as a starting mercenary, and Griffith being amazed, and if not, drawn by Guts' skills, and eventually is taken in by the Band of the Hawks, where some of the members, like Ricket, Judah, and Pippin, do take a liking to him, while Corcus and Casca are a bit more, lacking of him. You can tell they quickly dislike him, and basically Corcus for basically making him look bad, as well as killing some of his men, and Casca for, feeling jealous of the attention Guts is getting from Griffith. And not only do we see the build-up with basically their first victory in defending a castle, it's also meant to draw in how they help the King of Midland against Ganon and Bosgon's forces, and eventually the ending point where it all comes crashing down on them. So I do feel what the series does is that it's meant to give us a glimpse on what some of the characters are. For example, Guts is portrayed as this tough, cold, and if not, badass mercenary, but there is more sides to him. With Griffith, is that as soon as he starts earning the King of Midland's respect and gets all the praise and approval, others are quickly jealous of him, even the King of Midland's brother, Judas. So Casca, I would say, is kind of like that person who will prove herself against all odds. And you can tell that she starts to become more and more admired by Guts, and you can tell a relationship does form. I would say Judah is kind of like meant to be the voice of reason, and at the same time you can tell he does care about Casca and feels like her and Guts should be a more better one. Pippin, who is the quiet one, Ricket is basically the young kind of new young member, and Corcus is kind of the wise mouth guy. And there is another character called Gaston, who's just added in there to be the backup friend to Guts. So pretty much throughout it, I mainly think what the Golden Age does, it gives you this Game of Thrones feel, and you kind of feel like that's what the story was meant to be. It wasn't supposed to start off the Apostles, it wasn't supposed to start off just yet. So you had more time to get to know some of the characters, and at the same time, get used to them. I feel what the Golden Age films got wrong, which I think the series got right, was that you had more time to get to know some of the characters, like Julius, who is kind of meant to be jealous of Griffith, Adon, who is basically a sexist and kind of dangerous warrior, and you have a bit more time with the Queen of Midland, who is kind of meant to be more conniving and more trying to get back at Griffith. So I feel what the series does, it kind of gives you hints and clues to what the characters are. So pretty much I would say Griffith is kind of more conniving, more kind of he admires Gut, and eventually this does kind of become a downfall. Now, I would say as well, when basically when the scenes go on to Guts' sword fights, it does feel a bit quick, and when the characters do bleed, they just come out like confetti. When you actually watch Fist of the North Star, you kind of feel like when Kenzo killed off his opponents, it was like in a quick flash. And what's interesting is that the opening to Berserk is meant to give this light-hearted, more kind of feel to it, the same what the Golden Age arc was. And the ending point song of basically Waiting So Long is meant to kind of give you this dark, gloomy feel towards the end. And yeah, with it and with the anime adaptation, certain characters like the Slug Apostle, Skull Knight, also the person who tried to force himself in Guts' childhood, as well as Puck, don't appear in this, so you really don't know if they would have played any crucial part. And the series does end itself on a cliffhanger. So I think the series isn't too bad. It's meant to cover the Golden Age arc with slight modifications, and it's kind of meant to imply there was going to be more, but I'm guessing some stuff had to be toned down or just couldn't be done. So I think the series deserves a thumbs up. Still good and still alright. So, Comic Reviewer here, signing out.